Roman Reigns' ex-partner to win MITB from Seth Rollins become new champ? 3 ways Sami Zayn could return after WWE RAW. Hello guys. Welcome to my channel. I am Elena. Have a nice day. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Last night's WWE RAW saw Sami Zayn lock horns with Braun Breaker in a singles match. However, as the honorary Yusei was making his entrance for the match, he was attacked by Karrion Kross. The Doomwalker laid waste to Sami, attacking his injured ribs with a steel pipe. Despite the brutal beatdown, Zayn showed heart and participated in the match against Braun Breaker. However, given the fact that he wasn't fully fit, the dog of WWE destroyed Sami, delivering multiple spears before picking up a big win. Later, Paul Heyman revealed that Zayn has been ruled out indefinitely due to an injury. As of this writing, there is no official update on when the former international champion will return to WWE. However, in this piece, we will explore 3 potential ways the company can bring back the honorary use. Karrion Kross has been involved in an angle with Sami Zayn on WWE RAW for several months. They locked horns with each other in a match at Night of Champions, where Sami won. However, the loss to Zayn has not gone down well with Karrion Kross, who has since been attacking the underdog from the underground. As mentioned earlier, Kross launched another attack on Sami last night on WWE RAW, playing a key role in the Canadians' loss against Braun Breaker. Given the recent turn of events, Sami Zayn has a score to settle with the Herald of Doomsday. The babyface could return to exact revenge on Kross once he is medically cleared. The Canadian could join forces with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, who has been absent from WWE programming since April, is rumored to return at Saturday night's Main Event XL this weekend. Given the OTC has some unfinished business with Seth Rollins, he is expected to return during or after Seth Rollins' match against LA Knight on Saturday night. If that does happen, this will lay down the breadcrumbs for a feud between Reigns and Seth Rollins and company. Given Sami Zayn shares a good bond with the only tribal chief, plus the fact that he has issues with Rollins' faction, the WWE RAW star may return to help the OTC in his war with Rollins. The former OG Bloodline member could join Roman's ranks as his new right-hand man, much to the delight of the WWE Universe. As mentioned earlier, Sami Zayn was injured by Braun Breaker, a member of Seth Rollins' faction. Hence, Chief Content Officer Triple H could book the honorary use in a return angle against the heel stable once he is medically cleared. Sami could return to take out the head of the snake, Seth Rollins, by challenging him to a match. However, the 40-year-old could goad the visionary into putting his MITB briefcase on the line against him in the potential encounter. If that is indeed the case, it may lead to a great arc on WWE RAW. Sami could win the MITB briefcase from Seth Rollins to get his ultimate revenge on the heel faction. Following that, Zayn may potentially cash in his contract on his former rival Gunther, provided the ring general retains his World Heavyweight Championship against Goldberg this Saturday. To finally become a WWE World Champion. Why Roman Reigns must not align with Jacob Fatu. Roman Reigns is yet to return to WWE, but during his absence, 2 storylines have developed where he would fit in perfectly. One of the top speculations is that he will pursue Seth Rollins and, of course, Paul Heyman for the WrestleMania 41 betrayal. On the other hand, fans are also speculating that maybe the OTC will return to ally with Jacob Fatu and Jimmy USO against Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, Tala Tonga, JC Mateo, and Tama Tonga whenever he returns. Roman Reigns cannot take leadership of a team involving Jacob Fatu. If Reigns were to align with Fatu Big Jim, Sami Zayn and JUSO could join to form a team of 5. While similar, it would provide the 5 versus 5 WWE needs for Survivor Series War Games. On Not Some Wrestling, Sam Roberts explains why the Samoan Werewolf and the OTC should not form a team at this moment. Fatu has a huge momentum with the WWE Universe, and if Reigns joins the team, he will automatically assume the position of the leader, and this must be avoided. Here's my thing. Do I want to see Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu as a team? Desperately, yes. However, if Roman Reigns joins that team, Roman Reigns leads that team. If Roman Reigns joins with Jacob, Roman Reigns is leading Jacob. And I kind of like the idea of this being a group led by Jacob Fatu. I feel like we spent a good 1.5 years building Jacob Fatu, but now is the time for this to be a star-making vehicle for Jacob. Now is the time. Every time he walks into a building around the world, they were going crazy for him in Riyadh. Same way they were going crazy for him in Pittsburgh. Every time he walks into a building, Fatu, Fatu, Fatu. They say this every single time. Do you really want to have, at this point, this version of Jacob? Do you really want to have him as a second person, even to somebody like Roman Reigns? Because I question that. I sit there and say, maybe Jacob needs to be the leader. And if Jacob is the leader, maybe Roman needs to stay far away from this dot. Roman Reigns, allegedly responsible for Solo Sikoa changing faction, named Solo Sikoa, recently introduced the name of his new faction and added Tala Tonga to it. The Street Champion defeated Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship with the help of a returning Tonga Loa and a debuting Tala Tonga. Following that, he revealed that his new faction is called MFT, which stands for My Family Tree. The introduction of the new name prompted fans to wonder whether the Bloodline story had come to an end. Solo Sikoa introduced a new faction to pull away from the Bloodline. When Sikoa claimed leadership of the Bloodline following WrestleMania 40, there was a power struggle between Roman Reigns and him when the OTC returned to the squared circle. In fact, Reigns started going by OTC or YTC, which stands for Original Only Tribal Chief and your Tribal Chief. After losing the Ula Fala to Reigns, Solo Sikoa took time off WWE TV but returned as a different version of himself. On Not Some Wrestling, Sam Roberts analyzed the reason behind Sikoa introducing a new faction. As per him, Sikoa is respecting bloodline hierarchy and acknowledging that Roman Reigns is at the top of the bloodline, and after losing the Ula Fala dot, keeping that in mind, he is not claiming leadership of a faction that belongs to Roman Reigns, but creating one of his own where he is the king. One can be an MFT. But to be an MFT is to say that you are on this individual's family tree. And I think what it does is it now separates this. This is no longer an offshoot of the bloodline. I mean, to an extent, maybe, but it's not a thing where Solo Sikoa has taken control of a group that is not his. Even with all new members. When Solo Sikoa was riding with Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu, and saying, I am the tribal chief and this is the bloodline, it prompted Roman Reigns to come back to say, no, I am the tribal chief. I am the one who is on top of the bloodline. Solo Sikoa lost the Ula Fala. Solo Sikoa is not the tribal chief. Solo Sikoa is not claiming to be the tribal chief. What that does is it preserves the importance of the Ula Fala. It preserves the importance of being the tribal chief. It preserves the importance. Solo Sikoa has been talking about family this whole time. Come back into the family, it's all about family. For him, to just disregard losing the Ula Fala and still claim that he's the tribal chief would then make it so that there is a person in the Fatu family that is disregarding the Ula Fala if the United States champion decides to completely pull away from the bloodline story Rikishi to return on SmackDown as his son's manager. New wise men of Solo Sikoa's MFT, 4 ways. The WWE Hall of Famer can come back. The bloodline runs WWE. This has been the standard on screen for the last 5 years or so. Be it Roman Reigns, Jey USO, Jimmy USO, Solo Sikoa, or Jacob Fatu, among others. The group has remained dominant. This doesn't just apply to the wrestling stable, nor any spin-offs of the original faction. This applies to the real-life bloodline, and it has for many years. Names like Umaga, Yokozuna, and even The Rock have all been key players in the company in the past. One of the best-known members of the real-life bloodline is Rikishi. While he had numerous names and gimmicks throughout his career, the Dancing Big Man won Tag Team Gold and the Intercontinental Championship before being inducted into the Hall of Fame. While Rikishi has mostly been away from World Wrestling Entertainment for many years, he could return to the sports entertainment juggernaut in several ways. This article will take a look at some ways the Hall of Famer could return to television. Solo Sikoa has been one of WWE's most notable stars for close to 3 years now. He debuted as a member of Roman Reigns' bloodline, but briefly took over the group last year until this past January. Now, Solo Sikoa runs the MFT. His family tree of superstars includes Tala Tonga, Tonga Loa, and JC Mateo. Presumably, Tama Tonga will also be part of the stable once he returns from his injury and is back on WWE SmackDown with the rest of the crew. Rikishi could return to World Wrestling Entertainment as the Wiseman for the stable. Rikishi is Solo Sikoa's real-life father, and that means they have a natural bond. More importantly, who better to give Solo advice and guide him than his pops? It would make sense given their connection, and it would be fascinating to see.